Yeah, right here. So look, so I'm holding this snake. This is a fertilance, the deadliest snake in the Americas, responsible for more deaths than any other snake in the Americas.
Now, where did you find this at, brother?
Costa Rica.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so I'm holding this snake.
And this is the deadliest snake in South America?
In the Americas, total. Across all Canada, United States, South America, Central America.
Big snake, too.
Huge one. Biggest one I've ever seen. And for no reason at all, because it's a stupid YouTube video, he's peeing on me, I'm like, I'm going to pin it and hold it behind the head. Now watch here, I'm holding it and I'm showing off, like we just talked about, telling the camera all about, this is this deadly snake and this many people a year die from it and you got to be careful because of how they hide, blah, 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 blah. And I start to loosen my grip here. See how I'm looking to the side and I'm jabbering to the camera? So my grip's starting to loosen. Now watch what the snake does when he feels my grip loosen. It's coming in the next few seconds. I don't want to bore you, but
you can almost see him.
He's side-eyeing me right now. And this is complacency because I'm busy presenting to a camera like an idiot, talking about how deadly the snake is, and I'm adjusting my grip. I'm not paying attention. Here it comes any second here. Look at that.
Today, you grew up in, you were kind of born into Animalia there in on the edge of Africa in Zimbabwe. That's where you grew up?
Yeah, exactly right. So son of safari business owners. If I wasn't in school, we either lived on a farm or my family ran safaris. So I was out in the bush. So I've just been around wildlife my entire childhood.
Oh, wow. That's you right there.
Yeah. Look at them teeth right there.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't want to get bit by that.
No. Yeah. I was part beaver growing up. Yeah.
Take me into some of that, like what it's like growing up in like a safari land. Does it give you a different appreciation of animals? Does it make you more fearful of animals?
That's a good question. I think anything you grow up with, you become used to, right? It's like this is the norm when you're a kid. You just expect that that's the norm. So I grew up, I'd come home from school, kick my shoes off, run out on the farm, try and catch snakes or be looking for jackals or all these, just like a coyote, all these kind of things that sort of is parallel to if you grew up on a farm here, right? If you're a farm kid here, you go out and, you're from Louisiana, maybe you see a cottonmouth or coyote in the bush or whatever, right?
Yeah, just tickle a chicken or something.
Tickle a chicken, Yeah, that meant something else when I got to high school. But, I grew up thinking that was the norm and then I'd go out into the bush on safari with my family and it would be like, don't leave the tent after dark and stay here. And, there were rules, but as long as you didn't break the rules, you were pretty safe. And what I saw throughout my childhood was like a decline in animals. The same camps we'd go to where there used to be huge herds of elephants, there's now 2 or 3 elephants, or big wild spaces, there's now farm fields. So I didn't really realize it as a kid, but as I got older, I was like, I don't like that. Like, I don't want all that wild stuff to go away. And so I didn't really realize it when I was young, but over time, even as a child, I was like, this is something that I would like to dedicate my life to, is making sure that all this wild stuff, spaces, animals, all of it doesn't go away.
So I'm guessing you're thinking then along the lines of like conservation, like that. Did you come out of your youth just feeling inspired towards that?
That's a very nice way to put it. It starts by breaking a lot of rules, bending the laws a lot, and just being those kids, right? You're the yoink kid on Instagram. He's catching all the snakes and stuff. You're one of those kids.
Got it.
You know what I mean? And so in the US, there's a lot of laws against, don't harass this and don't do that. In Zimbabwe, there's fuck all for laws, right? So it's just kind of do whatever. So I think that love and that appreciation came from fiddling with everything, catching it, trapping it, working with it. But ultimately, as you fall in love with something, you want to protect it. And that's conservation.
And so what was from there sort of to here into the US?
Yeah, so we tried to, but during the early 2000s, Zimbabwe was under something called the Land Reform Campaign, which was President Robert Mugabe at the time, who declared himself supreme leader for life. He did this thing where...
Oh, like a boss, huh? Like Birdman.
Yeah, he came in hard, yeah. And he made it, this land reform made it so that it was very, very hard. Like my family's 6th generation Zimbabwe, but basically it was a race war. And if you were white, you weren't supposed... There was a land reform campaign passed that meant that if you were black and you had heritage, you could come and take that land away.
No way.
Because, of colonial settlement and things like that. Obviously, I grew up long after any colonial settlement took place. But yeah, we had gunfights and we had, neighbors murdered and punguis, which is indoctrination through torture into the political party, the ZANU-PF political party. There was some crazy political turmoil.
Zimbabwe's land reform refers to a controversial program that began in 1980 and escalated in 2000, redistributing farmland from white commercial farmers to black Zimbabweans. So your family was
We were farmers.
So you were farmers, and this happened as you guys were there.
So when I was a kid, I mean, it says here 1980 is when it started, which it may have. But when I was a kid, we never locked our doors. We didn't have barbed wire fences, nothing. It was very safe, very peaceful country. But in like 99, 2000, and then 2001 when we left, it got really bad really quickly. And it was sort of an attempt by Robert Mugabe to retain power for his party, the ZANU-PF political party.
Oh, I see. So his party would feel like maybe they were going to be pushed out. And so he's like, I need to do something drastic right now in order to stay in.
Exactly.
And so I'm going to return this colonialized land
to the people,
from whites to the black to the black people.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so but you saw that like in neighbors, you saw people's lands being taken over, stuff like that?
I saw a kid get shot in the head. We saw everything. It was crazy. Yeah. I mean, there were gunfights. We had these war veterans settling on the fence lines. We were the smallest farm in the Shamva district. That was where I grew up. And so we were the last ones to get taken because we had the lowest political incentive or financial incentive, right? So you look at the area where we lived, there were all these huge farms, right? $1 million a year plus tobacco farms and things. We were a tiny little Ulstrom area, which is an exotic flower farm. And so we were the last ones to get grabbed because why bother with us, right?
We'll get them at the end.
Exactly. Right. So we saw neighbors get murdered, these punguis, like I said, which is indoctrination through torture, crazy war chants, shootouts, everything. It was nuts for a little while.
And would these groups just kind of come like in just trucks, like, and sort of, or would they come in like force? Was it the government coming, or was it just like citizens, black citizens?
It was pretty much just citizens, like unemployed citizens, basically. Right. And for the majority, it was kids with guns.
Wow.
You know, you're 14, 15 years old, you grew up maybe on the streets of Harare, and all of a sudden you have this dictator like president going, hey, those rich white guys over there, go get them.
Right.
You know, and they're like, okay, you know, they call it war veterans that survived the war. There were no war veterans. It was just kids with guns, like 14 to 20-year-old kids.
Wow.
And that's what, shootouts and all this. But all that being said, we were riding our motorbikes and he got shot. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, so these groups, they come and then would they kind of kick people out of their homes? I mean, was that sort of how it was happening? And then how did you guys end up eventually leaving?
Yes. So basically they'd come, they'd surround the property or the farm, but white Zimbabweans, similar to like white South Africans or whatever, they're pretty hard people, grew up farming culture, so they dig their heels in and say, bring it on. And there'd always ultimately end up being a shootout or something like that. And so what happened to us, and I can't speak for every farm, but a lot of our friends, like a lot of their dads got murdered and all this other stuff. But what happened to us is my mom was a single mother with my sister and I on the farm at the time. And they surrounded our farm, and they came and they said to my mom, they're like, we'll give you 24 hours to leave or we're going to kill you and take everything. And so my mom, and I remember I was 14, I ran upstairs and I grabbed my gun and I grabbed a knife and I was like, bring it on. And my mom like hit me and she's like, go get in the car, pack your shit and get in the car. And I was like, yes, mom. And so we left. So nothing bad happened to us physically, but it was just a very like ripped from everything overnight kind of situation.
Wow. So Mama Galante had the sense, huh?
Yeah.
So take me through the Escobar one. Is that when I was texting you in Colombia?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that trip like down there?
Sure. So, I mean, I had this idea to do that show a long time ago. And really, originally, I just wanted to go work on the hippo problem in Colombia. So for context, Pablo Escobar brought hippos to his personal zoo called Hacienda Nápoles in the 90s.
Because he just wanted big animals?
Yeah, he built this insane place down there. And so he brought in giraffes and elephants and lions and all this stuff. When he died in 93, when he died in 93, the Colombian government came in and they had a shootout, he died, whatever. Then they came in, they're like, we'll take the lions, we'll take the giraffes, we'll take whatever. Oh, we can't do anything about these hippos. Like, hippos are gnarly. People think of hippos like Fantasia, happy, whatever. Hippos are gnarly animals. And so the hippos, they're
angry?
Super hungry.
Angry, I said?
No, they are. They're just very territorial, very defensive. I think on my Instagram, there's clips of them charging me at the fence and stuff. But anyway, these hippos got out, 4 of them. Now there's over 200. There's no predators because it's Colombia, not Africa. There's no lions to eat them. There's no crocodiles to eat them. There's unlimited food, and they're killing people and injuring people. But
some of them have also ingested cocaine.
Well, there was a rumor that Pablo Escobar used to feed them coca leaves to make them more aggressive to kill his enemies, which is a really cool legend. Whether it's true or not, I have no idea. But anyway, the Colombian government and I have been so I work on these kind of large scale animal projects. So I started speaking with the Colombian government about this when there was like 100 hippos, like 4, 5, 6 years ago. And they're like, please help. We're underfunded. We're understaffed. We need whatever help we can get to help mitigate this problem. So people in Colombia don't want to kill the hippos. They like them. They've created a tourism industry around them. There's like kind of cute. The whole town there, where Hacienda Annapolis is, I'm blanking on the name of it now. It's like hippo themed. There's like hippo statues everywhere. They've created like a thing around them.
But so they're dangerous, but also it's part of the culture now?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a weird thing where it's like, okay, there's this huge invasive species that's super dangerous, but the average people love them. Like the people from Medellin will take weekend trips to go see them, and they don't want to kill them, but they don't want them to get worse because they'll hurt people. So what do? So we went down there and worked with the Colombian government, with Cornare, which is the organization down there, and we came up with this sort of threefold approach, which doesn't kill them. So it's castrating them, chemically castrating them, sterilizing them, and relocating them. So I went down there with tranq rifles and chemicals and vets and all these things and caught and snipped nuts off of hippos.
So chemically castrating. So take me on that. Are you finding them in the wild?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we build bomas, which are like giant, like funnel traps, basically. And then we bait them in with giant bags of carrots and beets and things like that.
Boma, it's called?
Yeah. There might be one on my Instagram. You might be able to find it.
Do y'all sneak up on them?
Yeah. Yeah. So you sneak up on them, you find, that's like a boma, that second picture there.
So a boma trap, it's kind of like a kennel.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And you put a lot of good snacks in there?
You put all the goodies in there and you make a tripwire so that when they go in, the door closes. And then they go nuts, and they start banging against the fence and blah, blah, blah. So we're catching these hippos. It's super fun. And the little ones, you can chemically castrate with a chemical called gonacon, meaning basically you shoot them with this dart and the chemical goes in and it stops them from ever sexually maturing. So they grow up, but they don't. If you go to that one on the far right there, there's me doing surgery in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Is this a castration surgery? No?
Yeah, castration surgery.
So this is surgery right here. So you guys have a hippo here that's been sedated?
Yep. So this was a large female. She had 4 offspring with her. We chemically castrated all the 4 offspring with the gonacon, that chemical.
Okay, so gonacon, you inject it. So are those asleep as well?
No. So them you can do awake. But the gonacon only works if you're pre-sexually mature. Once you hit adolescence, it's too late. The effects would just wear off. So that's me darting them right there. I kind of saw it for a split second.
Okay, so you can dart them with the gonacon and it doesn't hurt them?
No, it's just like getting a shot. And then they
can't have children.
They can never have children.
And do they care or they're okay with it?
I don't think they know. Yeah, right. To be honest, I think they still get all the fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then the adults that doesn't work on. So we have to go into the bush and catch the adults and then actually perform surgery on them, which is what that video was, which is much harder to do.
What do you have here? Pause it for me.
So that's the mouth of a hippo held open with a piece of like metal pipe between the tusks.
Oh my God.
And then a breathing tube going into its diaphragm. So
can you smell their breath while they're breathing?
Oh yeah.
Is it pretty intense or is it okay?
And they mostly eat they primarily eat vegetation, so it's not too bad, but it's kind of like horse breath.
Like being at a salad bar or something?
Yeah, they got some stuff in their teeth. It's hot. Like you get your head up in there and it's like with this big, hot, sticky breath coming out. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. And so you have their mouth pried open, they're asleep.
Yep.
And so what do you do then in order to, because you have to castrate them a different way.
Yeah, so the males are easy. You just grab the nuts, lop them off, sew it up, right? Takes a few minutes from when they go to sleep.
And you reach in through their mouth to do it?
No, you just go downstairs.
Well, why are y'all doing this then?
That's just to keep them breathing and alive. So see, there's a pipe in the bottom right there, bottom left. That's a breathing tube. So that's just keeping them breathing. But this is a female. So females are way harder. You have to make an incision that's like this long, reach in there, feel for the gonads, snip them, cauterize them, pull them out, and then close her back up. And if you don't close her up perfectly, one stitch breaks, water floods in there, get an infection and die. So it's like a 12-hour process per animal.
Really?
Yeah, it's a big, and you have to do it at night because it's so hot. If you do it during the day, they overheat in the sun because it's Colombia. So like you catch them, keep them as calm as you can until like 9 p.m. Then you start putting them to sleep and work all night and release them at like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Wow. And so how many people does it take to really pull this off, honestly?
Honestly, we probably had a team of 30. Yeah. It's a big to do.
Is it exciting?
so exciting. I mean, I get goosebumps talking about it because it's just like, it's high adrenaline. The hippo's trying to kill you. You're racing the clock before the sun comes up. You can't over-anesthetize the hippo because then it dies. And if we kill one, the freaking Colombians are going to kill us. You know what I mean? Not really, but they'll be so upset. My career's over.
Yes.
If I kill a hippo my career's over, right?
Yeah.
I'm canceled across everything. So it's like all this action and adrenaline. It doesn't sound exciting because you're spending 12 hours like with your elbows deep in a hippo, but it's really exciting. Yeah.
I think it certainly seems high energy, especially since there's other people there and you guys are all locked in with this one mission.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like that game. Remember that game Operation you played as a kid?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It seems like that, but like the highest level.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Tom, thank you. What are some close encounters that you've had with animals out there, man, that almost sometimes you're like, oh, you know,
man,
that gets that childhood engine, like, you know, just really revs it into the red area?
I'm not an adrenaline junkie, or at least I like to pretend I'm not,
okay.
Right? But I get that rush when something like that happens. Literally, the hippo thing, I had a hippo charge me out of the water there that was crazy and everybody scrambled. I had an instance where one of the craziest ones, I never forget, the one that always comes to the top of my mind. We were in Australia and we were interviewing people in this Aboriginal village, like way up north in far north Queensland. And as we're talking to people, I hear people screaming, shouting, "Ah!" And I look over and there's this guy holding a cinder block over his head like this, and he's about to throw it. And I'm like, wait. And I run over and there's a coastal taipan, which is one of the most venomous snakes in the world, big brown snake. And he's about to smash it with this rock. And I'm like, wait, I'll catch it and move it for you. This thing right here. And it's a big one. It was like 5-6 feet long. And so this Aboriginal guy's about to smash it. I'm like, wait, like I'll catch it and move it for you. And he's like, okay, whatever. And the snake disappears under the house, right? There's like a house on like kind of like Louisiana where they elevate the houses a little bit, you know, down south there.
Satan's right under them.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's, you know, they're up on like cinder blocks or posts or whatever.
Dude, that makes me so scared, a snake under the house.
So the snake disappears under the house and the guy's like kind of mad at me. He's like, what the fuck, man? I could have killed the snake. Now it's in the neighborhood, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, let me handle it. Like, I'll take care of it. I'm sorry. And it all happened really quick. So I grab my flashlight and I grab my snake hook, whatever, and I go looking for the snake. And my camera guys are filming. We're filming a show of Extinctor Alive, which is a show I did on Animal Planet a while ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to get into that in a minute, actually.
Yeah. And my camera guys are filming. I look from one side of the house. Not yet, but I'm looking. I'm like crouched down looking, and I see the snake in like the far back corner. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, he's right there by the stairs. Come with me. Like, we'll go get him. So I grab my light and I jog around the side of the house, and I stick my head through the like slats in the stairs. They're like this far apart, right? So I can just kind of wiggle my head and shoulders in. And I know the snake's over here because I've just seen him from the other side of under the house. I'm like, he's right over here. So I wiggle in, I turn my light on, my headlamp, whatever it was, and I turn to the side, and I'm like, fuck, where's that snake? I can't see him. And all of a sudden, I just feel like this on the back of my neck. No. The snake has gone around to the other side. And he's moving around. These snakes are fast. And he's literally licks the side of my neck. You know how snakes stick their tongue out like that? Yeah. And then he starts crawling over my neck and I just freeze. And like, you see the hair on my arms right now. Like it rattled me. Because one bite, I was like 14 hours from a hospital from one of the most venomous snakes in the world, a relatively aggressive snake, and I just freeze. I just stop moving.
One bite, everybody knows the rules.
That's right. That's right. Thanks, Dave. So I freeze while the snake fully slithers up over my neck and then comes and coils up like 3 feet from my head over here, and then I like slowly back out. We ended up catching him 10, 15 minutes later, moving it, blah, blah, blah. But that moment where the snake like licked my neck right behind my ear there. Mm-hmm. And then I started to feel like the underside of his mouth go on my neck. I was like, that's it. Like I can't move. I can't do anything. I'm dead. Like it's going to realize it's sitting on top of a warm human and that it's been chasing him and just go gunk. And that's it. I'm finished. I was the most rattled I think I've ever been coming out of that. Yeah. I was just so like on edge while that snake was crawling over me.
Well, as you're saying that, I can feel my glands almost like, just like
tighten up. Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, it was a horrible, horrible feeling. And that's my fault.
You know what it is. And it's so, the fact that it's something so subtle, it's almost like a Dracula just being right there.
And the hardest part was my stomach dropped and your instinct is to like pull out, you know, like panic immediately, get away. And if I had done that, if I had even jolted, I think it would have just been boop, you know? And so I just had to try, like, it felt like 10 minutes and it was probably 10 seconds that it went over my neck for. Yeah. But I was just sitting there like, please, 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 please. And then it went over. It was crazy, man. It was terrible, terrible feeling. And it was very like naive of me to go in and just stick my head in and like be like, I'll be your hero, I'll help. It was stupid, you know?
Yeah.
It was just stupid. And I learned from that experience so much so that I've done it again a dozen times. But like, I try to ask you to do this. Do you mind pulling up the last YouTube video I just posted on my YouTube channel? I don't want to dogleg us too long, but I'll show you where the snake almost got me recently. And again, it's a result of, sorry, it's the one with that silly crocodile thing. Yeah, right near the end, maybe the last 2 or 3 minutes there. Yeah, right here. So look, so I'm holding this snake. This is a fertilance, the deadliest snake in the Americas, responsible for more deaths than any other snake in the Americas.
Now, where did you find this at, brother?
Costa Rica.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so I'm holding this snake.
And this is the deadliest snake in South America?
In the Americas, total. Across all Canada, United States, South America, Central America.
Big snake, too.
Huge one. Biggest one I've ever seen. And for no reason at all, because it's a stupid YouTube video, he's peeing on me, I'm like, I'm going to pin it and hold it behind the head. Now watch here, I'm holding it and I'm showing off, like we just talked about, telling the camera all about, you know, this is this deadly snake and this many people a year die from it and you got to be careful because of how they hide, blah, 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 blah. And I start to loosen my grip here. See how I'm looking to the side and I'm jabbering to the camera? So my grip's starting to loosen. Now watch what the snake does when he feels my grip loosen. Coming in the next few seconds. I don't want to bore you, but
you can almost see him.
He's side-eyeing me right now. And this is complacency because I'm busy presenting to a camera like an idiot, talking about how deadly the snake is, and I'm adjusting my grip. I'm not paying attention. Here it comes any second here. Look at that. So he starts to open his mouth. Oh! See how close that is? That was me. Boots are up.
Dude, I'm ready for the coffin.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that is so close to my hand with that fang. Those fangs are 2.5 inches long. So he was maybe 1/4 of an inch from getting me, and that would have been my hand gone.
Play that one more time. Play that strike.
There's that slow-mo strike just a few seconds back here. Look at this. Boom.
And what method did he use to be able to make himself have the torque to do that?
But so if I had been holding the snake perfectly,
right,
he couldn't have done that.
Right.
But I'd been holding him for 2 or 3 minutes, talking to the camera, showing off because it's stupid YouTube.
Right.
And I had loosened my grip and slowly slipped down, so much so that he had leverage in his neck. So that was the problem. It's my fault.
His ground game
was strong. He would have whooped me. Yeah, and it was close, man. If I hadn't dropped him right there, I'm talking another half second, and that would have been just one nick, one fang into the hand. That's definitely the finger gone, maybe my hand, you know?
What was one of your most surprising discoveries while shooting Extinct or Alive?
Yeah, the tortoise in that cover image from season 2, that was probably the biggest one. It was crazy. We went to this island in the Galapagos that basically nobody goes to called Fernandina. That species of tortoise hadn't been seen in 114 years, and only one specimen in history had ever been recorded 114 years prior by the California Academy of Sciences. So to date, that animal that I'm holding in that picture, which has been doctored for the like trailer poster thing, is the rarest animal in the world. There's only one known individual of that species, and that's her right there.
Damn, and it's a woman, huh?
It's a girl. Yeah, her name's Fern.
Women, it's like, where's that last day where people are just standing there with the clipboards and they're just waiting for the last, like, one of a species to die off, and then they're like, extinct.
There it goes, yeah.
Well, what classifies something as extinct?
That's a great question, and that's part of the premise of, like, why we made that original show, Extinct or Alive, is, like, it's for the most part, and I'm oversimplifying, but it's some stuffy dude, British dude in a smoking jacket going, yeah, yes, I believe this is gone, you know, and then he like checks a box. And the problem with that is from a conservation model, the second you check that extinction box, that's it. There's no funding, there's no effort, it's gone. Extinct doesn't mean hiding or around the corner or there's a few left. Extinct means give up and move on.
We're out 86, the dodo bird.
That's it, yeah. And so I think it's super arrogant for humans to come in and go, that's extinct. I mean, I don't want to belittle extinction, it's a very severe thing, but oftentimes we give up too quickly. We go, it's extinct, it's not here, or now it's sort of been reclassified as like lost to science. But for a long time, it was just like, it's extinct. Science hasn't seen it in 20 years, 30 years, 100 years. Used to be 30 years was the benchmark. And it's just sort of an arrogant thing to come in and say like, you know, I went to Borneo for 10 days. I promise you it's not there. It's like, shut up, dude. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it's not a game of Clue, you idiot.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm oversimplifying it, but I think that's what ended up happening a lot is all this information, you know, there's millions and millions of species of animal out there, tons and thousands of scientists and things, and they're like, that one's gone, move on, you know, and what I like to do is be like, well, hold on, let's give the little guy a second shot here, you know?
Yeah.
And I think why we were successful, why we found 8 animals that were previously lost to science was because we didn't give up after 10 days. Like some of those expeditions were 2 months long, you know, living in tents, filming every day, like setting camera traps, going out, baiting stuff. You know, they were hard work. I love the work, but they were hard work. And then it's like, oh, there it is. We found it, you know? And the first time was like utterly shocking, but then we did it 7 more times and it was like, oh, wow, there is a pattern here. And I don't want to say it's just like our show and the work I did, but between that and some of the conservation organizations and stuff, there was a little bit of a mentality shift of, oh, wait a minute. It's not extinct. It's like a lost species. It's been lost to Western scientists studying it or finding it. So now we'll put in campaigns to find lost animals as opposed to just decide they're extinct and move on. And that sort of changed things a bit.
It's kind of like cold case files of animals.
Yeah, totally. It's like go back in, you know, check the records. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think we had let's see if we have a better DNA sample now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And the technology's come so far.
Dude, this sounds just like cold case
It
files.
is, it is, man.
I want to talk about the de-extinction, right?
Sure.
So take me into some of that world. There's a company Colossal Biosciences, who recently they were in the press with recreating the dire wolf.
That's right. Yeah.
Was it actually recreated?
Yeah. So there's some interesting stuff here. So our buddy Joe Rogan, I connected him with Ben Lamb, the CEO of Colossal, and they went and spoke about it. And I'm a conservation advisor to Colossal. So can't tell you much about genetics because I don't know much about it, but I know a lot about conservation. So I help say, here's where we should put the dire wolf if we release them, that kind of thing. You know, the conservation side of it. Not going to release dire wolves, by the way, but that's the role that I fill there. So I'm luckily on the inside of this de-extinction thing. The dire wolf's interesting. There's a woman named Beth Shapiro who's in charge of it, and she can explain the genetics wholeheartedly. What my understanding of is it or isn't it a dire wolf, which is your main question, is Colossal found they did more genetic sampling than anyone else has ever done, and they found that the dire wolf was actually closely related to a gray wolf, which is what they built their dire wolf after, or they built it from, rather, versus the people who got upset and said this isn't a dire wolf is because they thought the dire wolves were originally more closely related to jackals, which is a different kind of canid. So my understanding, which is very limited because I'm not a geneticist, is that they did make basically a giant white gray wolf, which is what a dire wolf was according to the most varied genetic sampling that's ever taken place. Not an expert, but I think the thing to think about is not the minutia, at least for me, of is it a dire wolf, isn't it, what genes does it have? It's like saying, are you a human, am I a human? Well, but Theo's got long brown hair and Forrest has short brown hair. This guy has a beard and that guy has a goatee. It's like, wow, they're not the same. It's like, right, but we walk the same, we talk the same, we eat the same, you know, we fill the same ecological niche. And I think that's the point of what the science is.
Okay.
Putting dodos back in Mauritius is going to help the forest. Putting thylacine back in Tasmania is going to help with the overabundance of all these macropods, which are like marsupials. And that's what Colossal's trying to do with the de-extinction, at least as I understand it. And I think that's awesome.
Okay. So do you think that they're kind of creating something as close as possible?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. And by creating something as close as possible and putting them back into animal society, basically, it will help fulfill a space that could help nature be more robust.
Exactly. That's a perfect way to put it. A good example is like, imagine aliens came to Earth and they found a tribe in the middle of the jungle and the tribe had jaundice. And they're like, oh, all humans are yellow. Right? Now the aliens think humans are yellow. That's how humans are. That's how we look at, say, Tasmania. We go, oh, Tasmania is an island nation that just has tons of roadkill and a bazillion macropods. Well, it actually shouldn't. It's very unhealthy, just like our tribe with jaundice, right? Like it's a very unhealthy population because it's lost that little niche, that thing. And in this case, we're talking about a thylacine, which is like a Tasmanian tiger. So if they bring that back or something very, very close and similar, looks like it, walks like it, talks like that, acts like that, and it's not like they're just gonna be like, all right, we brought him back, chuck him out there. You know, it's gonna be a slow thing. And that's the part that I like to help with. But if they're able to put that back into the ecosystem, they're gonna balance out that ecosystem. And that balance creates health.
Got it.
Gets rid of diseases, gets rid of overpopulation, all the things that throw a system off balance. Which I think's cool. And that's why I love it. Like, I love the idea that we can right humanity's wrongs. Like where the stuff with like dire wolves and mammoths are less for me, but the stuff where they're like, here's where humans took an animal, killed it till it was completely gone, and here's where we can come in and go, we can fix it, then I'm like, let's go.
Let's go. Do you know if we would ever be able to create, like, you know, create the woolly mammoth, create dinosaurs, you know, like, do you know that if that's possible?
What I know is that if you take something that has really healthy, intact DNA and has a close living relative, for instance, you take the mammoth, because mammoths only died out 10,000 years ago. And so there's lots of fresh DNA frozen in ice and tusks. And you know that guy, John Reeves, up in Alaska? You know who that is? This guy's got this crazy place where he gets all these tusks and mammoth chunks and stuff. He's even eaten mammoth. Crazy dude. He's super cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this guy. So he's constantly getting mammoth parts, right? So there's really good DNA. Now you take that and you take an Asian elephant, an Indian elephant, and they're 99.6% related to a mammoth. Okay, so now you've got really good DNA. You've got an animal that's 99.6% related. All you've got to do is combine those to get that 0.4%, and you've made a mammoth, essentially.
Dude, and then you made a movie called Mammoths.
Mammoths. Meth mammoth. Math myth? I don't know.
The meth myths.
The meth myths. That's hard to say.
And they all have lists.
And that's right. Yeah.
Dude, being on meth and having a list would be the worst.
Boy, that'd be hard to follow.
Wow. So that's what you're saying. So it's like we're gonna get. So you're getting as close as you can get.
Yeah.
Do you think we could get into like actually increasing the scale then over time? I mean, do you think some of those things are possible?
I do. Yeah. I think with technology it will be, and that's why I don't think a dinosaur is possible. Because dinosaurs died out millions of years ago.
Right, it's too far
That
off.
DNA is just shattered. You know, it's like the puzzle's too hard to put back to. You take an egg, you crack it. It's like, oh, these cracks goes back together. You smash it, you're like, oh, I can never get that egg.
Just talk today, man. It's just a reminder of that. You know, just a reminder of it.
Dude, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, man. It's really cool. Oftentimes when I do podcasts or whatever, I talk to guys that, you know, we have similar interests. We talk a lot about, you know, they know a lot of, like even Joe, right? Like when I do Joe's show, he knows a lot about animals.
Oh, yeah.
He's an animal nut. But to talk to you, who, no offense, but maybe knows less or has less connection, you see that, like I was saying earlier, that child sense of wonderment, be like, no way. You know, like that's so cool that you can bring that back.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Well, I feel lucky to get to talk to people. I feel lucky to get to learn. I mean, I feel like, you know, like even just to be inspired today that I want to go back to South Africa, you know?
Yeah.
And that it would be neat to go do something there, you know? One of my friends said yesterday, I was talking to him. I don't know if I was talking to him on the phone. Let me think about who it was really quick. Damn, I can't remember. But he goes, man, you know what's crazy to think? He goes, if you think about your life, think about how many summers you have left.
Yeah, it's not that many.
And you're like, whoa.
Yeah, what? We got 20, 30 summers left, you know?
It just starts to put the perspective of your life. You know, if you're 25 and say you have, you know, until you're 65, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You have 40 summers left, right? That's a lot of summers, but that's not that.
But it's not that many summers, dude. And if you think, like, I think of this past summer, like I basically worked all summer. I was on the road. I barely had a time to hang out with my kids or go to the lake or do any of the summer things. That's it. I lost one of those. I'm never getting that back. That summer's gone. It's going to be cold when I get home now, you know? Like, I know. That sucks.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But it's nice today to be able to be reminded of that and just be reminded that nature's out there waiting for us, that there's a lot of things that are happening out there, and that we're lucky to exist and be a part of them, man.
Yeah, brother.
Forrest Galante, thanks so much for coming in. People can check out Animals and Drugs.
Animals on Drugs.
Animals on Drugs right now. And I challenge you guys in the comments of this episode, if you can think of any good names for drug, animal, crossovers. We need them.
We need more Crackcoons.
Yeah. We need more Crackcoons. Thanks, Forrest.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze.